everybody, and welcome to this episode of Life in the Middle Ages. Now, you may be wondering, am I middle-aged? Well, there are some ways you can know. If you find yourself saying things like this, it's 8 p.m., who could be calling at this hour? Yeah, you're probably middle-aged. So my guest today is Dave Caperton. He's a good friend of mine, and he's also a very funny motivational speaker, and he's an author. He's a former stand-up comedian. So we're going to talk today a little bit about body hair. Is this thing on?
Am I zooming?
So let me ask you this, just out of curiosity, what do you consider to be middle-aged?
Well, I think it's misnamed because, I mean, come on.
But is it?
It is, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
So, well, I don't know. It changes as you get older because, when we were young, heck, we thought 30 was middle age, right? It was like, wow, but you had grandparents who were the age that we are now. But I think as you get older, you start to move those goalposts because it's like, it's a moving target because we're all in denial. Yeah.
And let's be honest, we don't know how long we're going to live.
Well, that's true. Hey,
we
may not even be at middle age yet when all the new medical.
I've had so many vaccines stuck in my arm. I could live to 150. We don't know.
Well, yes. So wouldn't that be great? But so really, when we say this is middle age, we're just being optimist. That's all.
There you go. There you go.
100. I'll be 124 before I go. So if this is middle age,
we're in the middle.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's that weird place between
birth and death.
No. We'll try to narrow it just a little more. But I think it's that weird space in between, you've got kids, and, kind of that age. And then, I know your first shark. I think that's really, that's the rate.
There you go.
I don't know if that's the official, medical.
Well, I think you get little signs and signals that tell you you're in middle age. Like, when you can pop pills in public and nobody thinks you're on drugs, you're middle aged.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think? Here's the one that I found is kind of the social tell is when people tell you look good. That's not a good sign.
Let's add the caveat. For your age.
They're usually kind enough to kind of imply that. It was like, you look good, right? Now, the first time I heard that, I thought they said I was good looking. That's really, I just kind of did a little dyslexia thing in my head. And I was like, I said I was good looking.
Well, thank you.
Right? But I've learned that that's not at all what they mean. So when they'll say something like, I saw Dave. Dave looks good. Are you saying Dave's good looking? Oh, no, but he looks good. Right.
Good.
What they mean
is you're not in the hospital.
Why? He's like,
he's out walking around.
He's amazingly lifelike. I really thought, I mean, it looked like all the vitals were still in operation. He wasn't flatlining. I'd say, we're grading on a curve. That's really what's going on. So
no, I get the for your age. That's just maddening. Oh yeah. You really look good for your age.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I'm like a half a step above a corpse. I mean, what is it you're saying here? They mean well, but we know what they're saying. And it's okay. It's okay.
I was like, I can still deliver a pretty sharp punch to the throat if that's any measure.
Or at least a punch line.
Yeah, I'll do that.
They may not make sense anymore, but they do to me. So,
you know what? Here's the thing I do like about getting older, and there are some good things.
Yes, in fact, that was going to be my point. That this is not negative. We joke, but really, I think there are definite upsides and downsides. So what's your take?
Yeah, well, I think we can relax about an awful lot. When I thought people were looking at me, there was a lot of pressure because I wanted to, I wanted to measure up, right? And I don't care so much, because I know that pretty much the public out there, people on our group, we're kind of invisible, right?
Yeah.
And there's kind of this Harry Potter cloak of invisibility of getting older that allows you to do pretty much what you want to do, right? You can say, you can just speak your mind, and there's a certain freedom that goes with that. They
just think it's cute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I keep pushing the envelope on inappropriateness to see how far I can go. I'm not all the way there yet. I can still get looks of disdain. I'm not quite into the where it's but I'm pushing the envelope, and I'm getting by with more and more. I've noticed that. And it's funny you talk about that invisible. Have you ever wondered, am I dead? And no one, it's because it's like everybody walks by you. They don't see if you feel like they're walking through you. I'm like, I think I'm dead. Like in the movies when people don't know that I'm dead. No, I didn't know it.
I'm on the astral plane, and I'm just.
That's right.
You have people cut in front of me with their shopping carts. That proves that I'm not really here.
That's right. Yeah.
Not in a corporeal sense.
Yes, that's right. So but really, I always say I'm more comfortable in my own skin. Of course, I have a lot more of it, but still, it's you really are. You don't, and I think with each decade, I think it's partially because you don't have the time or energy or inclination, frankly, to worry about the stuff you worried about when you were younger. And it's very freeing.
Well, that's true. And I wish there was somebody we could appeal to that we could lodge a complaint, because I think it's a terrible system, that as you get more comfortable with yourself and as you get, a little wiser and you learn a few things, we get worse looking. And I just like, what happened? Why is that?
What?
No, hear me out. I think, what if we just had it all reversed, right? I mean, if you started off and you were stooped and wrinkly, right? And then as you got older, you just got more vital and vibrant and tighter skin. And wouldn't that be great? I mean, we would have an entirely different measure of what beauty is, because you'd see somebody buff and muscular and they go like, he's a goner, as it got long.
Yeah. And people would aspire to get older. It'd be like a thing.
It was like,
you didn't dread it. You didn't, you are right. I mean, who are we to question the grand design? But I got to wonder in some regard. I mean, let's talk hair.
Yeah, let's talk.
I don't really question the grand design, but does it really make sense? What's your take on hair and with being middle-aged?
Well, I think you should be able to count on hair. You were given hair. It's on my driver's license, right? And then it changes color.
There's a lot of lies on my driver's license, but we won't get into that.
I mean, it's supposed to be essential information, and then it thins and it stops growing well in places where I liked for it to grow. And then it starts growing in places that it never grew before. And it does it with an uncanny kind of overnight speed that's just, it's really.
I don't think so, Dave. I've been meaning to tell you, this has been coming on for a while. I think you just noticed.
No. I mean, when it sprouts, it just goes crazy.
Yeah.
I will walk down in the morning. I was like, oh, there's a hair on my shirt. It's attached, right? At bridge of the nose, top of the ear, some weird place. I was like, what is that about? Right. And I can't help but think, I was like, is this normal? Is it hormonal? Is there a full moon? I don't know. It's just weird. What?
And they're always gray, and they're errant. They're just, and they're like lethal. I mean, if you walk past somebody and you've got one sticking out your shoulder, you're going to put a gash in there. Maybe that's our, it's like the porcupine.
Yeah.
Because we're slower, and we have these defenses by having all these spears sticking out of our body.
Strings that are now sticking out of our body.
Well, I know during the shutdown, I didn't shave for 2 months, and I definitely kept people 6 feet away from me. It was the porcupine. They got near, like, ow.
Yeah.
distancing. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, it has a practical function. That's good. Well,
yeah, that's right.
yeah. I don't know. It's a strange thing. I mean, I think every day is just it's a little surprise party. You just don't know. Have you seen that Brooke Shields commercial now that she's a woman of a certain age, right? And she's with Colgate, and she says, I like getting older. I can't wait to see what comes next. And I can give you a preview. Can you say tooth loss and incontinence? Because that's what's coming down the pipe. You might want to tap the brakes on the excitement.
There's optimism and then there's delusion.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think it's good to focus on right now.
Yes.
It's like right now.
Yes.
Several months ago, I just woke up one day and the shoulder didn't move anymore. It was like, oh, that's as high as it goes now? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we made a few changes overnight. So you're not going to be able to reach up on to your nightstand on this side, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to sleep on your right side from now on.
Yeah, forever. Right.
Nobody checks with me. I honestly think that the body, as we get older, if my body were, they say, well, the body is a temple, right? Mine's a ruin. It's like ancient Roman. Right? But if it were a factory, I would like to have a word with the production chief because there's some things that are out of whack.
So you'd like to go back to factory settings?
I would like to default, but whoever is in charge of making production decisions, we need to talk, right?
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you're just like, hey, what is with the extra neck and face? What is this? And they're like, oh, we're ramping up production of neck and face. I'm like, stop! It's running down into my shirt. Quit! What are you doing? I need more buttocks. How's that? I was like, oh, we stopped production on that years ago, right? No demand for that. And we're moving all the hair production from here to here to here.
Oh man, yeah, I agree. There's got to be someone to write a sternly worded letter to. I don't know. The fact that I said sternly worded letter shows you, or even letter shows you, I'm definitely middle aged.
Oh yes, sternly worded. Where's my stationery and my quill?
My quill.
Oh, here it is. No, it's I don't know. You know what? You and I are people who we put a high premium on sense of humor.
Yes.
And it's great. It's fun when you're a young person. It's a need when you're an older person. Don't you think so?
Yes. That's a great way to put it.
Play with it when you're young. You're going to need this later. Right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a muscle you need to develop. You're not going to need this now. I mean, it's like algebra. You're not going to need this now, but someday you're going to be laying tile in a bathroom and you're going to wish you knew this stuff.
You're going to need to solve for X, right?
That's right. So yeah, it's a muscle you want. You're like, okay, this is fun. I don't know that I need it necessarily. You're going to need it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would advocate everybody work on, being able to laugh at ourselves. I mean, that's when people are like, well, I don't have much of a sense of humor. It's like, you got a bathroom mirror and a morning, don't you? So plenty of material to work with there.
Yeah, that's right. I can remember my dad. He would, he'd look in the mirror and he goes, I can't wait till tomorrow because I get better looking every day. Like, oh,
and he said it to music.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Let's have
and the beauty is that your eyesight starts to fade a little bit. So we don't really notice all this stuff.
Yeah, I used to wonder how, I would see men who were older men and they would have these big patches on their neck and where they had skipped shaving. And I'm like, how did you miss that? I can see that from the parking lot. What is the matter with you? And now I have to get into a really strong, it's weird. I don't It's like, what are the signs you're getting to middle age? How do you feel about direct sunlight? That'll be a tell, right? You don't look forward to that quite so much. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You start wishing for, like, let's have a candlelight dinner every night, right?
Yeah.
Shades and just live in darkness like Miss Havisham in Great Expectations. Right?
And here's another one. I was never quite so preoccupied about the weather. When I was younger, I just didn't. And you know what? I got caught a lot of times in the rain without a jacket. I didn't care. I didn't focus on it. And I was talking to my sister the other day, and she goes, "It's a beautiful day." I said, "You're this close to bird watching. This is your next. I just want you to know it's a slippery
Is that
slope."
a black-capped chickadee? Is that? Did I?
Oh, a red-winged blackbird. And listen, I think I honestly, I think birds are amazing, but I think, and I will say, I think this is one of the cool things, because what I said to her after I said, listen, the idea of having an appreciation for a beautiful day, I joke about that, but when you're younger and you're running around, you really don't appreciate these kind of things.
Oh, that's true.
So I would almost say this is like one of the upsides that you do. I don't know. You're more mindful. You do see the small things. You're appreciative. And as I say, bird watching, I joke, but I mean, birds are really pretty amazing. And I look out, if I see a cardinal, I'm like, oh, it's heaven.
I never understood that before. I do now.
I know.
We went for a little walk the other day, and I had my phone out trying to figure out what this thing was. I was like, oh, it's a tufted titmouse, and I was, which is just fun to say anyway.
Yeah.
Tufted titmouse. That's the reason why it's only for older people. Because if you try to get like middle schoolers involved in birding, and you give them terms like tufted titmouse and yellow-bellied sapsuckers, they're just never going to be.
They're off and running. No, you're
people.
done.
This is serious business. These are.
It's like when the science teacher tries to call it Uranus.
I know. No. It doesn't help, right?
It does. No, it
like
makes
Uranus,
it
and they're like, oh, Uranus said Uranus, and then the next thing around is like, well, let's call it Uranus. So like, doesn't help.
No.
It didn't improve a thing, right?
No, it didn't.